Our guest today is Ken Howard. He plays the part and very well of Dave Barrett in the new CBS TV 11 series Manhunter. Obviously, from the title, he goes after baddies. And it seems to me, Ken, that the public always likes to see the good guys after the bad guys and good to triumph. But, you know, we're up to here with that kind of private eye and that kind of law enforcement official. How does the character of Dave Barrett differ from those on the screen today?
Well, I think there are a few things that are different. What I like most about the show is that it's set in the Depression, and because it's in the past like that, aside from the terrific old cars and the kind of costumes in the Depression era, you know, the art director has a ball doing the show. But also, there's an opportunity for kind of a larger-than-life Americana figure that I don't think is anywhere else on television. By that I mean a man of few words and a man of action, a man of the land, you know, who knows hunting and farming and machinery, and who operates in a very simple kind of rustic way. And that's what I think is different. It's that there's a feel of a return to nature a lot in the show, and that's unique.
You take your other guys, Kojak, a big city cop, Mannix, a sophisticated, good-looking, swinging bachelor, even plump Bill Conrad in Cannon is a rather polished, urbane sort of person. This is really a change. What, a man of the grassroots, I suppose.
Yeah, and very rough-hewn. There's nothing cute about Dave Barrett at all, and there's nothing wisecracking about it. His humor is very dry and a very wry kind of attitude about the world, and I like that. There's something fun to play in that too, because it's all a little bit mysterious. I'm always more interested in people that don't really let you know what they're thinking all the time.
You're a great looking guy of 6'6" or so. Has your height helped or hindered you in your business career?
It could have hindered it. It happened to help. It just helped me get certain roles. I'm sure it got in the way in ways that I didn't know, but if this show is successful, that alone will have been enough help, because it's the kind of character that almost has to be big, and it's just that kind of man.
You know, when we know we're going to meet somebody from the network, we try to read up and do our homework. And the network is pretty truthful, but sometimes some of their publicity makes you wonder a little bit. So I will have to ask you this.
You put that so tactfully. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that you're really only 5'2" and that you're 73 years old, but it's a great triumph of publicity. Now, the story is that you met your wife when she came backstage to see you in a performance, and your romance grew from that.
All that is true. I did a play called Child's Play in New York, a kind of a suspense drama. And I'm married to Louise Sorel, and she did come back and see me backstage, and just to say she enjoyed the performance. And then about a year later, maybe it was a couple of years later, I was signed to do a Volpone in Philadelphia, and she was signed to, and we got to know each other. And about a year after that, we were married.
It's very nice. No clash of egos, I take it.
Oh, every now and then.
Really?
And all, but she's a good lady, and my life's a lot better with her than it was before, so everything's fine.
Hear that? Chalk one up for marriage, right?
Hear that, Louise?
How about husbands and wives who are in show business, acting as critics for each other? Will it work out?
Well, my way, we're different. Louise likes to talk through things, and she's very involved in the theater, and not show business, but the theater and the work. And I kind of like leaving it at the set. I much prefer dealing with my job as if I were building a bridge or anything else, and just not bring it home with me at all. I think that one thing that we do, and it's not an attitude, it's just our natures, is we're very much outside of the world of show business in California. We live a fairly private, kind of different kind of life. Most of our friends are outside the business, and our life is outside the business, and that helps it a lot. You know, it's a rough business on a marriage because it's full of so much baloney.
Speaking about being a rough business, it is true that you are tall, you've got a good build, you're a nice-looking man, you are a good actor, but there are a lot of people who qualify for that. Do you ever stop and say, you know, I'm doing very well, and I'm really a young man, and how fortunate I am, or do you know that maybe next year you'll be doing something else, and maybe you'll have some lean years, or you came from some lean years? How philosophical are you about the ups and downs of your career?
Well, I've been very fortunate, and you know, you're right. It is easy to forget that, and sometimes I'll, when I'm getting kind of down and worrying about things, sometimes I'll take a long walk, and that's just what I'll say to myself. I'll kind of look it over and say, "Listen, fella, you know, things are going pretty well. I mean, you know, things didn't have to go this well, so be glad and go from there." You're right. I've been very fortunate. I know a lot of awfully good actors. I started in New York on the stage, and I could count them. I could count you 50 actors right now who are terrific, and it's just a matter of when things fall in for them. You know? So yes, I feel very fortunate.
You mentioned you had done Volpone and some other obviously serious work, although there are a lot of laughs in Volpone. It's a classical drama. Do you have a preference? Do you like to get laughs?
I love playing comedy. I think just because of the physical type I am, or whatever you want to call it, it's my career is obviously going to go in other directions, but I've played a lot of comedy on the stage, and that's really how I got my first opportunity in television, and I'm sure I'll get back to it. It's just when you're a big guy and you look sort of athletic, you know, people put you into that other stuff, and that's fun to play too.
What would you like to see Dave Barrett evolve into as the character grows throughout the season?
I think the show would be best if Barrett is a like a folklore hero. I mean, if he has a quality of, you know, that kind of black and white morality of a legend, of a morality story all the time, where he's really the guy in the white hat. And I think there's a charm to that makes it pure escapism, pure action-adventure drama, and it's an easy thing to watch. And I think that's what the show should be. You know, I've done other kinds of things where there's a message or there's a statement, but I think the strength of this show is in the charm of the world they create, where right triumphs and wrong, and it's sort of nice feeling, you know. Will
you have any input in the show? If they give you some lines that seem unfamiliar coming out of Ken Howard's mouth, will you squawk?
I don't even think I have to squawk. Quinn Martin he really is a terrific producer, because he understands how the medium works far more than I do, but he's already kind of given me he trusts me, and he's already given me a kind of carte blanche, you know. I mean, when you play a character like that in a pilot and you define it, and that's what sells the show, directors who know far more than I do about a lot in the business, but they'll listen to me about that, because they know that I've got more of a handle on that than anybody, because I started it.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Right.
Our guest today on Omelette has been Ken Howard, who plays the part of Dave Barrett on the Manhunter series. To him, our thanks. We'll be back with more of Omelette in just a minute.